Back to Joseph Campbell. In addition to pointing out the structural framework of every great story, he also brings us the concept of the character archetype. According to Campbell, the archetypes generally consist of a hero, and now this person is usually pretty boring compared to the rest of the characters, as they're the ones we're supposed to relate to. Think of Luke Skywalker, the galaxy's most boring man. The shadow is what he sounds like, the bad guy. The mentor is Obi-Wan Kenobi, because every story's got an Obi-Wan Kenobi. The herald is anyone or anything that presents the adventure or the solution to the hero. Very often, the mentor can also serve as the herald. Characters in your story can often be more than one archetype. Threshold guardians are generally the bad guy's goons. The shapeshifter is a character whose allegiance is shaky. We don't know if we can trust him or not. The hero generally finds themselves having to trust this character when they normally wouldn't. The trickster is the funny one, the comic relief. In fact, many scholars believe trickster to be Latin for Steve Zahn, so take that how you will. Star Wars. This is the most obvious example of this put into practice, right? The hero is Luke Skywalker, the shadow is Darth Vader, the mentor is Obi-Wan Kenobi, as mentioned before. The herald can be R2-D2 with Princess Leia's message, or Princess Leia, you know, how you look at it. The threshold guardians are the stormtroopers. The shapeshifter is Han Solo. The trickster is C-3PO or Chewbacca, depending on who you talk to. So, how is this practical to the pile of ideas that we have? Take these archetypes, using them as a lens, look at some of your favorite movies and see what characters are what. Now, look at your story and take what characters you currently have and figure out which archetype they probably are. This will give you an idea of their general purpose in the story and will help you chart a rough course or trajectory for their part in the journey. Then, look at your idea pile and figure out what archetypes might be missing from your story. But, hold up, we've reached a danger zone here. Right now, it will be very easy for you to start injecting characters into your story, but that's generally a bad idea, right? As you could potentially start bringing things into your story that don't organically belong. And no matter how hard you try, they'll always feel like foreign objects. So be very intentional about discovering new characters, not creating them from scratch. Are there any generic characters here that you could assign more prominent responsibilities? Any characters from the first act you could bring back in the third act? Any family members you've hinted at that could be brought to light? Remember, you're not telling your story what to be. You're asking it questions to get it to tell you what it is.